Hour 0 to 6. So it begins. 132 men will stand on this beach by morning. The Navy expects to select only 25. It is Sunday, 10 p.m. You are in your barracks at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. You've known this moment was coming for weeks. You just didn't know when. Then, the sirens. Then, the explosions. Concussion grenades going off in the courtyard. Instructors flooding the building. Flashlights cutting through smoke. Voices overlapping each other into noise. No order to any of it. That's the point. Your body spikes on adrenaline before you've laced your boots. Your brain is 6 steps behind and trying to catch up. And it will not catch up tonight. And the instructors know this. You hit the beach running. The Pacific Ocean in February is 58 degrees. That number means nothing until you are in it. You link arms with the men on either side of you. You walk into the waves. You sit down. The cold doesn't arrive as a feeling. It arrives as the temporary absence of your body below the neck. The man on your left inhales sharply. The man on your right says nothing. An instructor on the beach checks his watch. You hold. You come out. You do it again. Boat crews form before sunrise, 6 to 7 men per crew. You don't know these men yet. You know their height. The crews are sorted by height, and you know the weight of the inflatable boat on your head, which is approximately 180 pounds, and you know that you are all going to carry it together for as long as they tell you to. That's enough to know for now. At some point before the sun rises, a bell rings. On the beach, there is a brass bell mounted on a post. It is not an achievement, it is an exit. When you can't go on, you walk up to it. You grab the rope and you pull. You take off your helmet and you place it in the sand at the base of the post. 3 helmets in a row means 3 men are gone. Then someone processes you out and you go back to the regular Navy. The first man rings it before 6 a.m. He was one of the stronger swimmers in the class. Everyone knew it. Just like that, one moment he was here, then the bell, and he wasn't. Nobody stops, nobody looks. The boat is still 180 pounds. What happens when the cold doesn't stop? Hour 6 to 48. The cold that doesn't stop. You've done log PT and training, sets of it, reps, a start and a finish. This is not that. The logs are telephone poles, approximately 200 pounds per log, 7 or 8 men per log. The instructors do not tell you how long this evolution will last. They tell you to lift, and you lift. The log goes overhead and comes down and goes overhead again, and you feel the compression in your spine every single time, and you keep going. An hour in, your grip is wrong and you know it, and you can't fix it because there's no pause to fix it. 2 hours in, the man at the end is struggling to maintain position. You can feel it in the weight distribution. You don't say anything. He doesn't either. The instructors walk the line with clipboards. They're watching something you cannot name. Whatever they are watching for, they haven't found enough of it yet because the log is still moving. Between evolutions, you run. Soft sand. The instructors time it. You know the standard. You hit it or you don't, and if you don't, there are consequences. And the consequences involve walking into the waves again, and you already know what 58 degrees feels like. You run anyway. Your legs are not quite yours by mile 2. Monday becomes a feeling instead of a day. The sun moves, but time doesn't. The pattern repeats. Log, running in the sand. PT, cold, another log. You stop checking your watch. The watch is lying to you. It always says more time has passed than your body believes. The bell rings again. Then again. One at a time, not in groups. The rest of you are already looking forward. By hour 48, the class is smaller. You have stopped counting the helmets on the sand. But if the first 48 hours didn't break you, what will they do to you next? Hours 48 to 72. Running on empty. At some point between midnight and 4 a.m. on Tuesday, the day stops having a beginning or an end. Not because anything dramatic happens, because nothing does. Running on no sleep and empty glycogen, your brain stops rendering the world accurately. It starts filling gaps with guesses. A shadow becomes a fence post. The fence post becomes a man standing still. You blink, it resolves. You look again, and it happens again. You do not tell anyone this is happening. Why should you? Next up, boat crew races. Your crew versus another, paddles out to the sea and then back again. First to the beach wins. Your hands are so cold that gripping the paddle is a conscious decision for each stroke, not automatic, deliberate. Grip, pull, grip, pull. The man behind you is pulling hard. The man in front of you is pulling hard. You cross the line. The losing crew goes back in the water. You watch this and feel nothing. Feeling things is a luxury from a different week. The bell rings on Tuesday afternoon, then Tuesday night. Crews shrink. The log doesn't get lighter. You redistribute. You keep moving. If Tuesday night breaks more men than any other point in the week, what does Wednesday look like? Hours 72 to 96. Hump day. Wednesday. Technically the midpoint. The instructors say it like it's a gift. What exactly are you supposed to do with halfway? They call it hump day, which is the only thing approaching humor you will hear this week. Nobody laughs. Halfway is not the same as almost done, and your body has already learned not to trust calculations like that. Wednesday night, they take you to the mud flats. San Diego Bay, tidal flats, roughly 50 degrees. You go in at night. The mud is chest deep in places and black and cold in a way that is different from ocean cold. Slower, heavier, harder to move in. You cannot see the man next to you. You can hear him. You can feel the mud shifting when he shifts. At some point, he starts humming something. That's everything. The instructors stand on dry ground with lights. They do not come in. They watch. You've been awake for roughly 72 hours. Your core temperature is suppressed. Your brain is doing the minimum. And it is in the mud, at night, unable to see or feel your hands, that the week lands on you fully. Not dramatically, not as a breakdown, just as a weight that settles. A quiet understanding that there are still 2 full days left. That is the bottom. Not a low point, not a hard moment. The bottom. Some men ring the bell on Wednesday. You've stopped being surprised by it. You've stopped counting. The number on the beach has been climbing for 3 days, and somewhere in the mud, you stopped being interested in the math. You come out of the mud. They hose you down with cold water. You've made it to the halfway point. The worst part is still ahead. Hours 96 to 120. The final push. Thursday night, around the world. This is the open water paddle around Coronado Island, approximately 8 miles in the dark. Your crew is smaller now than it was at the start of the week. The men still in the boat have been awake for over 4 days. Your hands are not working the way hands work. Gripping the paddle is a negotiation. You make it. Every stroke. The island doesn't get closer the way it should. The end of something never looks right when you're hypothermic and running on a margin of sleep that doesn't exist. You keep paddling. The man in front of you keeps paddling. You don't speak. There's nothing to say that the paddles aren't already saying. Dawn comes up over the water while you're still out there. You see the beach. Your brain tells you it's close. Your brain has been lying to you for 4 days and you know this. You paddle anyway. You beach the boat. You get out. Your legs decide on their own how steady they are, which is not very, but they hold. The instructors are on the beach. There are far fewer of you now than there were on Sunday. A number that started over 100 is now somewhere that can fit on 1 hand and a half. One more run. Dawn, soft sand, the same beach you've been living on for 5 days. The instructor sets the pace. You hold it. The man next to you holds it. At the finish, a bell rings. Not for you. Someone this close to the end. Someone rings it. An hour from the finish line, 4 days and 20 hours in, a man makes the calculation that the rest of the week costs more than finishing is worth. Then an instructor walks up, says the words, "Hell Week is secured." You've been awake for 130 hours. You weigh less than you did on Sunday. You are sitting on the beach, and some men around you are crying and don't know they're doing it. You started in a crowd of over 100. Most of them rang the bell. Not because they were weaker than you, because at some point the pain stopped being worth it, and they knew it before you did. A SEAL Trident is not what you are yet. This was permission to go attempt what comes next. The next video is already on screen.